Live from Studio 3B, it's the Pinky and the Brain Show.
The Pinky and the Brain, yeah, Pinky and the Brain. They started up a podcast so Jeremy can complain. They talk about their life, news, sports, and Twitter fights. Brandon's kinky, they're Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain. Nah.
In the world is up, everybody. We have a special Pinky and the Brain show today. This is a AFC Championship Game podcast special. And not just that, we got the whole crew back together. Across from me, I got producer Travis. Say hello.
Hello.
Well, looky there. Brandon to my right.
Hello.
We got buddy Josh in here, too. Say hello, Josh.
Hola, amigos.
He's off mic, so... Chiefs, Titans, baby. Who's ready for this? We're all decked out in our Chiefs gear. I'm on beer number one. What the fuck? First of all, the group is back together. Brandon, I hear you might have tapped some ass of an X last night.
Yeah, I guess we could say that. We could just say an X. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
an unexpected. Yeah, unexpected.
Is he a
you
subscriber?
Now,
It might be serious with this guy.
since you've been laid up and out of action, you've not had a lot of action per se lately. Did you last more than 5 minutes?
No. But I had the perfect excuse. I mean, because I was just like, and I just had knee surgery, and just like it's kind of like a dog, like out of habit. I kept trying to get on top, and then I'd be like, ow, 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 ow. So like it was just really awkward because there's like one position I could do, but five that I kept trying to.
Probably.
Yeah. Which is magnificent with this person. Particular person has a build that makes that great.
Wheelchair sex.
Yeah, wheelchair sex. And I at the end of it, I was like, that was sympathy sex, wasn't it? She swears it wasn't. So I don't know. She's a good liar or.
That's great.
Either way, I don't give a shit.
Travis, what have you been up to? Probably not banging exes.
Nope. Banging the current. I
Banging
guess.
exes.
No, I went to Monster Jam last
Monster
night. Took the
Jam.
kid there. Yep, that was actually
Oh
pretty
shit!
sweet.
Was it at Sprint Center?
Yes.
Dude, I saw. I think the same thing, dude.
Yeah.
Badass, right?
It's fun. Ella
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
She made us buy her a El Toro Loco. It's like one of the
Toro
names
Loco.
of the truck's flag. So she was waving it the whole time. It was pretty fun.
Nice,
Dude.
nice.
We got a little X gamer. Have Uncle Brandon will show her the ropes, dude. We'll turn.
I
her
thought
into
you were
an
going to
X
say
gamer.
Uncle Butt Sex there for a second. That's completely inappropriate. Uncle Butt Sex.
Uncle Butt Sex will show her the ropes of the X Games.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that didn't really come out the way that I was
right.
hoping for it to sound.
So anybody who's been listening along since the new year, I am giving myself a pass on the non-drinking exclusion. So today I will be drinking, and I'm already just one beer in. So here's what we're going to do today. We have no real show outline or any real set strategy other than we're going to record kind of throughout the day, maybe give a halftime update, and then if we win, God help us all, because you'll be hearing our drunk asses afterwards too. And then I'll throw all this together at a later date and release it for everybody to, I don't know, have a little ear sex with. Because let me tell you, boys, the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. First time in 50 years. I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
Maybe we should mention it's about 50 minutes until kickoff time.
Yes.
That is
So
correct.
this is prediction is coming beforehand. And, I was thinking about it. If we're going to jump right into this, the Titans, all the headlines I hear about this team is that they are red hot. The red hot Titans are coming to town. I'm going to pick them. They've only won 3 games in a row. The Chiefs, meanwhile, have won 7 games in a row.
Right.
So who is the red hot team right now? Right?
I would agree. I mean,
I agree too.
I don't know. I think it's just a little bit more sexy of a story to say it. The 6th seed coming to town. They did just knock off the Patriots, the last little whimper of their horrible dynasty. And then the shocker of them all, they did beat the Ravens. Nobody was picking that, and certainly not in the fashion that they did it in. But I think their luck has run out, and even if they can keep it close in the first half, I predict a double
digits,
2-score win. Brandon, as our not really giving
as our football insider, Brandon Breckenridge.
Hold on.
Wait, there's a fucking football game today?
Hold on. Save it.
And now the news with Brandon Breckenridge.
This just in. Apparently there's a fucking football game today?
That was the news. Now, back to the show.
All right, and we are back.
All right. Thank you for that.
I'm learning so much.
I know, so...
Thought we were just getting together to drink.
Well, we're also talking about a team that was 9-7 during the regular season. We're not talking about a team
This
that
is
won
true.
like 10 or 11 or 12 games
When
or
they
something.
made
9-7. They won a few games in a row. Come on.
They made the switch to Tannehill. They started playing much better. So we shall see. Even if, I don't know. I just can't see a scenario in which we lose today. So
Yeah.
The team, like the morale, has to be fucking at peak fucking capacity, man.
all right, so I would like a score prediction. Brandon, since you're our insider, why don't you go first? What do you think? Final score prediction.
Shit, I don't know, man.
This
20
is
to
gonna
45.
Okay.
Do those
Hey,
numbers even work?
Yeah.
Like the
'Cause
Chiefs
it has-
winning, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You want me to go next?
Yeah.
All right.
Producer Travis.
I'll say 42-28. So double digits.
Okay.
You know.
We should write these down. I guess we can go back and listen.
It's being recorded.
Damn it, we've got
I'm
to go
gonna
back and listen
say-
to ourselves.
37 Chiefs to 23. That's going to be my prediction. Now, before we get into any more
Should we
football
say the
talk-
person that's the furthest off has to do something very embarrassing?
Anal.
Anal?
Oh,
That's not embarrassing. That's
whoever
great.
got the second worst prediction?
Have you ever tried that? That is not. Wait, what?
So they've got to do that with whoever got the second worst prediction.
You got to shove a Titans flag up your ass.
All right, so before we get
You
into
can
any more
roll it up.
football talk, I just want to thank everybody who's been tuning in, who's tuning in now. We really do appreciate it. If you could, tell a friend, share the show. That's the only way we can grow this thing. So we appreciate it. Now we've got more friends joining in. Buddy Josh
I
is
just look
coming
over
in.
and see a weird set of fucking eyeballs looking at me.
We've got some kids coming in.
Hey, what's up? You didn't say hi to me when I came in.
I want to record too.
All right, so why don't you tell everybody who's going to win the game?
Who's gonna win?
The Chiefs.
That's right. The Chiefs are going to win. You got a prediction?
Duh,
What's the
cheese.
score gonna be?
I don't know.
Parker.
Excellent.
Can
Parker,
I say Beyblades are
who's going to win?
Beyblades are awesome.
All right.
That team's gonna win.
All right, so that's much it for us on the first segment. What we're going to do now is go heavily drink and start preparing for the game. So until you hear from us again, we're going to go do this little thing called getting it on. We'll be back. God damn it. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, you can.
My man.
It is now halftime. I have now with me producer Travis, of course. I also have Buddy Travis. That's what we will call you. Buddy Travis, how are
Producer
you?
Travis and Buddy Travis.
Buddy Travis, first
All right.
timer. Good to be
Travis, thank you for joining us. Overall thoughts on the first half. What do you have?
here. Overall thoughts, looks like the Kansas City offense started off right where they left off with the Houston game. They stalled one drive, the first drive, a drop pass,
having some issues firing off at the beginning of the game, definitely.
Yeah, but once that first drop pass, we noticed one mistake. We're already on target, 3 touchdowns. And we took 3 drives to get that going last week, I believe, to get the touchdowns. But maybe a couple turnovers were the mistake last time. But
yes, but overall, we get the ball back after halftime, and I think we're right where we need to be.
Definitely. Tennessee, I don't believe, is the team that needs to be behind going into the second half. If the Chiefs get the ball first, which they do to get the ball first, if they can go down and actually get a touchdown, be it by 2 scores to begin to give the Tennessee Titans the ball in the second half.
All right.
That's exactly where you want them, right? The idea of football is to get your opponent trying to do something that they don't want to do. Yeah. And if you can get them, there was a couple situations where Tennessee had 3rd and long, 2nd and long, and they had to throw it, and you could tell they did not want to do that because they didn't complete them. Now, there was a flag that they ended up completing one of them because of penalty, but overall, get them behind. They have to throw, and that's not a game that they want to play, is when they're behind and have to throw.
I think you're right. Adam Carolla made a very astute observation. He said, what makes the Patriots so good is while a lot of other teams, when they're up, they might go into prevent defense. What made the Patriots so good all this time was Bill Belichick doesn't care about that type of stuff. What he does is he says, what would you least like me to do in this moment? Right. And I'm going to do that.
Exactly.
So that's exactly what you're saying is we need to get them in the position where they're least comfortable. Stop doing your own nonsense, game plan or whatever. Just make them the most uncomfortable and do exactly what they don't want you to do. Yep. And 9 times out of 10, see, here's that fucking beer hitting me now.
Liqueur 43 there coming through.
But anyways, yes. So I agree with that sentiment. I think we come out, we score another one, and it's lights out. My pregame prediction was even if they keep it close for a half, that we still pull away, and I still believe that. Any predictions
I had
on your
34-24 was my original prediction.
That's very close to what I had.
I think I had 38-27, but we're all kind of in that Chiefs scoring in the 30s, Titans probably scoring in the 20s kind of thing. That's about where we're all at.
Our defense isn't good enough to allow. I mean, I figured around 20 points if we were. Well,
they just need to get ahead, and then they're going to stop scoring so much, and then that gives the Chiefs more possessions. The Chiefs score more.
The last handful of games that the Chiefs defense started, they really started their turnaround when Mahomes was injured and Matt Moore was playing in his place. That's when we first saw the first signs of the defense coming around. But the last handful of games, they've only allowed about 17 to 20 points a game, and I think now they're obviously in line to give up a little bit more than that today. But if we can keep them in the mid-20s, then this is game over. If we can keep them under 30, this is game over.
Well, here you go. So if Chiefs are ahead right now, they're up by 4 points. Is that right? Yeah, 4 points. They get the ball back. If they score, that'll put them up 13 points.
And then it's over from that point, I believe.
11 to 12 points.
11 to 12 points. Derrick Henry, only 62 yards right now. So if Tennessee is
16 carries, too, already.
Yep, and if they're forced to pass, Derrick Henry's not going to get to that 180 mark that he has the past 3
years. It also changes our defense. Once we can kind of sit back, put the defense more in attack mode, that's where we'll feast. All right, we're bringing in Buddy Josh now. Come on, Buddy Josh. Overall thoughts of that first half?
It was amazing.
Wow, I think I'm really going to have to massage and get Josh going.
The Titans have taken a lot more plays.
I'm going to have to get him wet. That's what I'm saying before he'll give it up.
I feel like Patrick Mahomes has almost as many rushing yards as Derrick Henry and definitely as many rushing touchdowns.
Producer Travis, look that up because I don't think you're very far off.
Patrick Mahomes is leading the team with 36 yards.
Okay, so he has half the rushing yards.
Henry has almost twice.
So he has half the rushing yards, but he has a rushing touchdown. Derrick Henry has one rushing touchdown. Yeah.
Tyreek Hill with his 2 touchdowns for the first half is probably the MVP of the game. Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a big turd hanging on
The
the back
second
of
the
his helmet.
Chiefs defense gets
This is
their
also
first
true.
biggest play of the game in the second half, a turnover or another first down stop,
Interception.
we are going to see the Chiefs finally be able to lean in the way they want to lean.
Okay.
Well, the entire crowd, everyone can start to lean. The home field advantage can start to lean one way finally on the opposing weaker team, I believe. And I don't think their team's built to come back like we are.
Well, we all know they're not built.
So a
to come
touchdown to start the second half is the most beautiful thing the Chiefs need to that make happen.
back. Well, I'm ready
Put
for
them in a
it.
hole.
I've definitely taken advantage of my one-day pass. I'm already about 4 or 5 shots in, some beers. We're
This is
having
your
some-
one-day pass?
This is my one. Well, I will give myself another one-day pass if the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. But
fun.
yes,
I love it.
So what's your prediction?
My prediction, and it's been this way, is Chiefs 42, Titans 24.
that's very, very, very close to mine. I don't recall mine exactly, but that's very close.
Because the Chiefs are scoring touchdowns on every drive.
If it wasn't for fourth downs and penalties, the Titans may not have but 3 points right now.
That being said, the Titans' offense looks pretty balanced, in my opinion. They're
A
running
lot
the ball
more
well,
so than they're
passing the ball
They're
well.
definitely
You can
passing.
tell that they're desperate going for it on fourth down in the first half already.
Here's
they know
what-
they have to against
Here's
this
where
offense.
lies.
17 passes.
Here's where lies the problem is that they're going to start panicking as soon as the Chiefs put together a nice drive and put 7 on the board. And
I believe you're right. That's why it's
and
important.
because their passing game has been working, I think they're gonna abandon that run game a little bit more, and you're gonna see a less balanced offense. In the
I think
second
that's
half.
exactly right. That's why I predicted, even if it's close in the first half, I think they start getting away from their game plan in the second half.
If
and
they
that's
have
when
to
we
pass
start to
more
pull
times
away.
than they run in the second half, the
It's a
Titans,
problem.
it's over. It's just-
Yeah, and so like an educated guess, 42-24, but where my heart tells me it's going to be 127-17.
they're going to lose points.
right, well,
We're going
thank
to take
you.
some points.
It looks like Buddy Josh is ready to go back to drink mode, and I think I'm going to wrap it up so we can get.
Oh, we're done?
We're gonna. We'll see you guys after the game,
done now.
and that's when it's going to be absurd. So
Bye.
from here until now,
Here into absurdity.
hold on, everybody.
Little boy, little boy.
Who wants to do one?
Sent to me. Without she, I feel incomplete mentally. She's been sent to me right there since 9-6. Worst nightmare to a side chick. Some things are just meant to be. This it for me. Give my daughters a kiss for me. Y'all call this fame. I call this shit alcoholistic infamy. Targeting my kids and babies through population and gun control. Shit make me want to make 100 more. Make a bigot racist uncomfortable. If y'all against talking.
Ah ha ha! All right. You know what? I really like that one line. You heard that? This alcoholistic infamy. That's maybe one of the coolest lines I've ever heard. All right, so we are back today. The original intent was to record after the game, but we were too busy celebrating and getting drunk and having a good time. So this is actually the day after. So that's why Brandon is now on the phone. But overall thoughts, Brandon, yesterday was such an incredible day. Like, what do you think? How was your basically your viewpoint from what just yesterday was, and in its entirety?
Man, it was just like, it was electric. You know, you hear people say that term, and it was just electric. And the game, it started out, and it was kind of like we were like, oh, okay, but everybody. There was never any negative energy, even though it was kind of like, okay, well, we got our work cut out for us, whatever. But nobody ever got negative, man. It was all positivity, man. It was actually pretty amazing.
Well, that's the thing about Patrick Mahomes. That's what he'll do to a team, man. If all of his teammates basically say that they never feel out of it, he's the Chiefs, Kansas City. Really, we've been deprived of championships for a long time. The Royals, of course, won it a few years ago, but it was always the Chiefs could get to the playoffs and then they just flame out. So we were a very beat down fan base, but Patrick Mahomes has turned that all around. I feel like the city's never in panic now. And if that's how just general fans feel, I can't even imagine what his teammates must feel.
Right. Yeah, that's the truth, man. I mean, they're just, and it's, of course, and now I'm seeing all these stories on Facebook. I mean, it's just, everybody in Kansas City is just, I mean, they're so happy right now. And it's like one of those things, man, where it's like, they deserve it because everybody, these are the people that every Sunday they're watching these games, win or lose, and it's like they deserve this.
Yep. I mean, if you take the game aspect part of it away, I understand that for people that may not be football fans or whatever, that it just seems like, oh, it's just a game. What's the big deal? But let's just talk about for a minute the bigger picture, because how many people do you think maybe didn't have a very close relationship with their dad when they're growing up in their awkward teenage years, but football, the Chiefs, was that connection that they could share together?
Right.
I mean, you and your dad, you've never been a huge sports fan, but that's always been something that's, drawn you guys together.
It has. And you can tell, and Kansas City is one of those cities where there's a lot of people you see at the games regularly, and it's one of those, and you see some people that maybe in their normal, I guess, day-to-day life, maybe they don't have a whole lot of a social life, but it gives people that maybe don't have that social aspect to their life, and it gives them that social aspect. They can go out to Arrowhead, and it's like a brotherhood, and it's beautiful.
That's
It really
right.
is.
I mean, we've watched a handful of games out of town, going to other stadiums. You've been there for some of these trips. You went to Chicago when we went, right?
Oh yeah, and St. Louis. We've been,
So it's so weird. Just because you have the same jerseys on, you're hugging complete strangers. That's what sports can do. They can bring people together. And I choose to, football over the last few years with the concussions, the CTE, all that stuff has kind of been shit upon. But I don't think there's enough people kind of celebrating the positive sides of it, because none of us are making it out of this alive. So of course everything in life is going to have pros and cons, and I think a lot of people have been wanting to focus on the cons lately but not the pros, and there's a lot of great things about football, and yesterday was just a perfect example of that in Kansas City.
I couldn't agree more, because especially for me being a kind of just a casual fan, I like the Chiefs, and that's really about the only team I pay attention to. And I really make a genuine effort to try and watch the games, but I usually miss most of the games. But so even as a casual observer, it's just I'm glad that the people that were really dedicated fans, you being one of those people that it's funny. I saw I think it was actually Instagram, but I follow Laszlo from 96.5 The Buzz.
Oh yeah,
and
he had a great post. I think that's
he did, and because
reference.
He did, yes, because I think he was born in Detroit and spent most of his life in Detroit, but then, obviously relocated to Kansas City for work. But yeah, he said, he's like, I'm a Chiefs fan now, but I'm not like you native Chiefs fans. And so he's like, I'm rooting for the Chiefs, but above all, I'm rooting for you. And and I'm assuming that's the quote you're thinking of. Yep. It's just the coolest thing like that. And that's kind of how I feel. I'm just a casual fan, man. So it's not like I deserve this. It's great, but it's like I'm glad that the real dedicated fans fucking deserve this.
Yep.
And he put it perfectly, man. And of course, I kind of murdered the quote. It was a little bit more elegant than that, but
no, that's great. Another tweet I had seen is there's a local podcast. It's called excuse me. God damn it! What is it called? I'll fix this part later.
Yeah.
Damn it! What the fuck? Hold on. Oh, amateur. Okay, yeah. There's a local podcast called Amateur Hour, KC, right? And it's all about the Chiefs. It's just a couple local guys, and Ryan Scott Hall, one of the hosts on that show, he kind of tweeted out something similar. He's like, this is so much deeper than just the Chiefs making it there. He's like, I started going to games with my dad and my uncles, and it was a family affair. And then as I got older, I started going with friends, and it became a drunken mayhem, awesome tailgate fest. And of all the relationships he's created just from the Chiefs, and how it's a family feeling, and how it's so much bigger than just a game. And it just summed it up perfectly. And this is it's such an incredible feeling. When the Royals went to the World Series, that was one thing. Football is king, though, man. This is a whole different thing. It's a whole different ball game, and I'm just so happy for all of Kansas City right now. I am really going to take these next 2 weeks between now and the Super Bowl and just soak it all in.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's a beautiful time to be a Chiefs fan.
So I was thinking, how cool would it be to go down there to Miami? Like, just be a part of the week-long festivities and the parties and then fly back and watch the game here. So let's make a Pinky and the Brain show goal of ours. By next Super Bowl, let's get this podcast grown big enough that we can go just fuck around and do pods all week. Because wouldn't that be so cool to, like, I would release one damn near every day this next 2 weeks.
That we should make an effort to do that, man. Any excuse to get to Miami, man, I'm there.
So over these next couple of weeks, if you're a fan of this show but not necessarily a Chiefs fan, I'm really just sorry for you, and we'll do our best to label them accordingly. But the next couple of weeks is going to be, Chiefs centric, Pat Mahomes centric. Andy Reid, the rest of the guys. Man, it was so awesome. Of course, for anyone out there that doesn't know, the original owner of the Chiefs, now it's still in the family, but the original owner, Lamar Hunt, he helped create the modern day NFL. Back then, when he bought the Houston Texans, or whatever it was called at that point, he actually bought them from, I believe they were in Dallas. Bought them, moved them up to Kansas City. Damn, I'm forgetting the name, but it wasn't. Who the hell cares? It's unimportant. But anyways, he moved them up to Kansas City. Unfortunately, he passed away before we could get back. The last time we were in the Super Bowl was way back, Super Bowl IV. But the cool thing about it was, he's such an influential figure in the NFL history that they named the AFC Championship trophy after him. It's called the Lamar Hunt Trophy. And watching his son get the trophy with his dad's name on it in Arrowhead Stadium yesterday, it was just a very special moment, man. It was just awesome.
It really was. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, so next we got the 49ers. It's the Super Bowl. We'll get more into that later. But we just wanted to tie this little episode together, the AFC Championship special episode. Man, all those Chiefs fans out there, from us to you, we love you guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so special. It's just so fucking special. And what I want to encourage you to do over these next 2 weeks is enjoy it. Soak it in. Love on your fellow Chiefs fans. Because, man, with Patrick Mahomes, I do believe we're going to get to several of these in the next 10 to 15 years. But still, it's been so long. Soak it in. Love on your family. Love on fellow Chiefs fans. And whatever you do, when you make your Super Bowl plans, remember this. Plan it with people that you care about in your life. You're going to cherish these memories forever. I know it's insane at the moment, but believe me, make your good plans. Let's go out and let's do this shit right, Kansas City. And I'm going to catch you all at the fucking parade. So, Brandon, I already know you're off work. I'm off. I'm already taking off work. And we're going to go to that fucking parade. So I hope you're walking by then.
Me too, man.
It should be roughly 16 days from now-ish. What do you think? When are you off? When are they suggesting you get off the crutches?
February 13th.
Okay, so the Super Bowl is February 2nd. The parade would be somewhere around the 5th or 6th. My birthday, I turned 40 that day. How awesome would it be if the Super Bowl parade here in Kansas City was on my birthday?
That would be pretty sweet.
Now, the parade route, it goes downtown, P&L area. Your new place down on the plaza, how far are we talking from there?
Man, probably not far at all, man. A couple blocks.
Okay, so come down there, pregame it at Brandon's early in the morning, and we'll make our way down and have a little bit of fun, right?
Yeah, dude, we could. I'm on crutches, man. We'll get a wheelbarrow and you can wheel me around.
Too late. I'll be wheelbarrowing my ginormous nuts all around town. But yeah, we're definitely going to do this. What'd be super cool is if we have any local listeners, let's do a meetup. Let's do
That
a
would be
meetup.
fun.
If you're in Kansas City, you love the podcast, if you love hanging out with some awesome motherfuckers such as ourselves, let's meet up. All right. Until next time.
I like that.
We're out. Brandon, tell the people you love them.
I love you guys.